everyone! In today's video we're going to be trying out a palette that was actually sent to me by a brand that I have already tried and I know I like, and this is OMFG Cosmetics. Here is what the outside of the packaging looks like. I love their little heart. I think that's so cute. It says OMFG Cosmetics, and this is what the palette looks like. This is their Pretty and Pastel palette. I showed you guys this in my haul and a lot of you were very interested in this, and I was so surprised because this was like one of the things that you guys wanted to see the most, which makes me so happy because I am excited to use this. I will say that from the other palette that I have from the brand, I thought the mattes were amazing. I thought they were super easy to work with, nice and pigmented, blended very well, built very well, but their shimmers were a little bit, I felt like they were just missing a little something. You guys know how spoiled I am with shimmers and how picky I am. Like, I like my shimmers to be as intense as they can possibly be, and that was like basically my review of the other palette that I have. Now the other palette is actually in my bag that I've yet to unpack from being in Norway, which I actually bought that palette because I like it so much. So we're gonna get into this palette. I do want to swatch this first and just kind of see what these shades are going to look like. So as you can see here, you have the shade names on top, which I really like. If you're gonna have the shade names like not on the actual like shadows, this is a good place to have them. And you also have the ingredients on the back here, and also the name is just right here on a little sticker. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this palette for you guys so we can see how they perform in the swatches. So as for my first impression on the swatches, I thought that they swatched okay. Now swatches obviously don't really mean anything, it's how they perform on the eyes that means the most, but these two colors here, the mattes, definitely needed a lot of building up to really show up. And I also felt like these two shimmers here needed some building up. The best shimmers so far seem to be the blue and the pink. Those definitely swatched the best. So I'm just gonna go ahead and prime my eyes and then we can get into trying these out. I am really excited because this is such like a just very soft and subtle and kind of light palette. It's not super intense, and sometimes it's nice to do a bit of a not neutral look but like subtle look. Like there's two different things, like you could do a very colorful but still have it be like toned down. So that's what we're gonna do today. So I'm gonna prime with my MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre like I always do. So I think my plan is that I definitely want to play with the pink here, which is called Doll Face, and I'm going to put that into my crease. And I'm going to put that in my whole crease. I'm taking a very dense kind of fluffy brush here. This is from Makeup Forever. It's the 218. I like this brush a lot. It's not my favorite, but it definitely does the job. So I'm just going to place this in my whole crease now and try to build this up to be as intense as I am able to get it. I don't know if I want to use that kind of lighter pink to blend this out with. We'll see how this is laying down, but so far, I mean, this is looking pretty nice and pigmented. And I am just blending this out a bit as I go, just so I can see if I need to use anything else to help blend this out, but I don't really think I do. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna stick to using the shadow in my crease. The one thing I'm kind of missing in this palette is just something a little bit darker, but like I understand it's a pastel palette, you know, you're supposed to do kind of soft looks with it, but I always like to have something on the darker side to deepen looks up with if I want to. But I mean, I get it, you know, it's just not part of like the whole theme of the palette, so it wouldn't really make sense to have anything dark in it. So this shadow is laying down so nicely and it's blending out really nicely as well. I mean, that's beautiful. That was really easy. And so I think I'm actually gonna go ahead and cut my crease today. I haven't done that in so long, but I'm feeling like doing a cut crease also because some of the shadows here are just going to pop a lot more because they are so light if I do a cut crease. So I'm gonna take my P. Louise base and I'm going to do a half cut crease with this. So I think what I want to try to do is I actually want to go in with this kind of lime greeny color. on the first half of my lid, and then for the second part I'm gonna go in with this green. I might have to put a shimmer on top after, I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna first go into this one right here, which is called Starship. I'm just gonna pat out the creases here before I go in with the shadow, and I'm just going to start packing this on here and seeing if I'm able to build up the shadow. Now I do feel like you can kind of see a little bit of the pink coming through my cut crease here, but I'm gonna see if I'm able to cover that up with this shade. Now I definitely feel like if I'd used a white base to cut my crease with, this definitely would have looked a lot better. Right now it's coming off a little bit more kind of olivey than lime green, but it's still like a very unique color, and it is laying down pretty nicely on top of a wet base here. So I'm gonna leave it to this, I think, and then I'm gonna do this eye, and we're gonna probably go in with the other green afterwards. This did build up pretty nicely, so I'm happy with how this is looking. I'm next gonna go into Hide and Seek, which is probably the most beautiful shade in this palette. This is so me, so I'm gonna take this basically on the same brush. This is a brush from OMFG Cosmetics. It's the Sultry Smudge brush. And I'm just loading my brush very heavily here, and I'm gonna put that in the middle of my lid. I'm having a little bit of fallout with this, but I don't think it's going to be a big deal here. And I'm gonna leave a bit of room just in the outer corner, because I think I'm gonna go in with possibly like the purple shimmer or maybe even the blue shimmer. So I'm mixing this together with that first shade that I put down on my lid to create a bit of a green gradient here. And that's actually working really nicely. I also think I'm gonna use some kind of a glitter in my crease here, so it's not like super important that just like the line in my crease that's separating the colors is perfect, because like I said, I'm gonna use something else there. So I think for the outer part of my lid, I'm gonna go into this blue shimmer right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and spray that with some Fix Plus and just place that in the outer part of my lid. And this is definitely the shimmer that swatched the best, and I actually really like that. I think that's quite beautiful. So I didn't intentionally do like a half circle on my lid. I was going to do a half cut crease, but it just kind of turned into a full cut crease. I don't really know what happened there. So I'm actually going to kind of bring this out a little bit so that I can wrap this around to my lower lash line. And I'm also going to just blend this into the crease a little bit so that it's not looking too cut creasy, just on the outer part here. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and take this down to my lower lash line as well, and just kind of wrapping it around from my outer corner here. And I'm using my Referral pencil brush, which is just perfect for any kind of lower lash line work. I just think this is such a good, very unique brush to my collection. It reminds me a bit of my Morphe M149 brush, but it's just better. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just better. And because I feel like it kind of mixed and became a bit purple just on the outer part here, I'm gonna go into the purple shimmer as well, just to make that a little bit more intentional right on the outer corner. And I'm also going to wrap this down to my lower lash line here, just on the outer part. So I will say I actually like the shimmers in this more than the shimmers in the first palette, or maybe it's just been longer since I played with the shimmers in the other palette and I thought they were worse than they were. But for these shimmers, I've actually been quite impressed and I really like these. So what do I want to do just to finish up here? I feel like I've used quite a few of these shades. Maybe I'll go in with the pink shimmer here and put that on the rest of my lower lash line. Now I'm mostly doing this just, wow, I want to just use the non-existent mirror in this palette. Well played. I'm mostly doing this just because I want to try out as many shades as I can in this palette, and this is definitely a beautiful shimmer. Like, this is the shimmer that swatched the best, so I can definitely see that if I were to put this all over my lid, like, that would be absolutely gorgeous. So I did leave a bit of room left in my inner corner, and for that I'm going to go into the yellow shimmer down here. And this looks so nice. It's almost like a pastel yellow, which I don't know if I have in my collection. I'm just going to pop that right in my inner corner here. That's really beautiful. So it's just been so long since I've used any kind of glitter. I'm dropping everything. In my crease, I'm actually going to take the Ciate Lunar Eye Luster Cream eyeshadow, and I'm going to put a little bit of this in my crease. This is the swatch of it, so it's almost like a... It swatches like a gold, but it's like a peachy goldy duochrome. I feel like this is going to look really nice with the look, so I'm going to take a eyeliner brush here, and I'm just going to use this. This is from Morphe. I have a lot of these, and I'm basically just going to line the first half of my crease or so. And I'm not going to be able to talk while I do this, so you're just going to have to watch. Alright, so my camera turned off while I was in the middle of doing my glitter, and I didn't feel like turning it back on just to say that I'll be right back when I'm done with my look. So I just finished up. So for waterline, I used Zulu by Colourpop. I felt like this would look really good with the shades that I have on my lid. And for lips, I used the Wet n Wild Megalust Liquid Catsuit High Shine Lipstick. Say that 5 times fast. Say that even 2 times fast. Man, this is in the shade Taffy Tantrum. I thought this would be a really cute pink to wear with this look, especially with my crease color. I think that's gonna look really good. Actually, I think that does look really good. It's not gonna look good, it looks good. So I do still have some mascara smudges on my eye, which I should probably have removed if I can find a spoolie. Just going to scrape those off real quick. Alright, so I think we are all set. I think this is going to be the completed look. I really like this. I think this came out really cute. And so far for this palette, I'm actually pleasantly surprised by the shimmers. I will say that I was struggling a little bit with these 2 mattes right here. Even layering them on top of a tacky base on my lid, it was still a bit of a hard time getting them to be as built up as I wanted them to be. So I don't know how those 2 colors would be in the crease, but you know, there's only one way to find out, and that's to try them. So I guess I will try to do more looks with this palette. I can't promise anything, honestly. I would love to be able to do 3 looks with every single palette that I buy, but I've gotten so much new stuff lately that I just simply can't promise that anymore. So I will have this on my list of, you know, palettes that I want to film with, but if other things take priority that are going to be newer products, that's just what's going to happen. So I do want to do more looks with this palette, but like I said, I can't promise anything. If you really want to see it, let me know. You know, that's all I can do really. So that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you again so much to OMFG for sending me this palette. I think this is super cute. I really like the look that I came up with, and I can't wait to wear this the rest of the day. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to see some more videos similar to this, I'll pop some up on the screen. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I'll see you in my next one.